Good morning, afternoon or evening. This video is about the new country released in War Selection. I will review each unit and try break down how they will work in game and their possible weaknesses and strengths. Hopefully this will help you get the most out of Persia, or just help you decide whether or not to purchase the country. Also, a huge thank you to the Strategy Strike channel and the two people that run it. We worked together to get the clips you see in this video, and I'll leave the link to their Persia video in the description, and check their channel out in the pinned comment. First up, we have the IR-1 units. Starting with the Guardian of Sands, this unit is a camel with an IR-1 machine gun strapped to it. It only fires forward and deals average damage, but fires very quickly. This unit struggles in general when fighting against other ranged units like these soldiers, as they are a large target with low armor and low DPS. I think the best way to use them is to hunt down cavalry as an early unit to fight against late medieval armies. Next is the counterpart of the Guardian of the Sands. This is the Thunder of the Sands. This unit is another camel, except this time has a cannon strapped to it. It only shoots backwards, making it very good at running and shooting at moving targets like shown in the clip, but it does have to stop to fire. It also has 165 damage at a high range. It's slightly inaccurate, but because of its higher damage and high explosive radius, it kind of makes up for that. This makes it great for agile artillery use, but it can also struggle as it is a large target and has low armor. The unit would be best used to kite enemy tanks, such as heavy tanks, and in this video you see the FT-17s because they're slightly slower, but also to support attacks by mobile artillery, as it can move around quite quickly, a lot quicker than a howitzer, and it can fit into smaller areas and just run away and such. It'd just be much more agile and quicker. That covers all of the units from the stable. Moving on to the replacement for the howitzer. Persia instead uses the Western Asia cannon, and while that might sound quite poor, it is also very good, as while it has the same statistics, it is cheaper in cost and takes only 30 seconds to recruit, making it a great response in a desperate time in incoming tank rushes, as you can produce it really quickly and spam out a few of them from like 5 barracks or so, from 5 factories, sorry. This unit is cheap and great to use against armoured cars, which you will face a lot of in IR-1. Finally, for IR-1, we have the very unique Sea Gardens. This unit can be constructed on water by trawlers and acts like a floating warehouse. It also provides a high amount of passive food income, which I think is 30 every 5 seconds or so, but it cannot move and is a large target, also having a high price, making it a good target for enemy bombers and ships. So putting it in your backline is something like a pond or a lake. To keep it safe can be beneficial. But the Sea Gardens cannot move once they're placed, so construction is a permanent choice. Keep that in mind. Moving on to IR-2 and the unique factory units that you will have access to. First up is the Gathra. This is Iran's APC unit. It is armed with a main machine gun with high damage, but also 2 separate machine guns similar to how the British tank Rhombus has them on the sides. This is on the sides of the Gathra, which fires independently, giving the unit a very high DPS against infantry units, cavalry, howitzers, that sort of thing. But it does have quite low armor, as it is just an APC. It's kind of like an armored car APC hybrid, but it has only 5 seats. Secondly, in the factory, in IR-2, you get access to the Div Destroyer. This is a bulldozer which does damage only to buildings, but it has low damage overall, making it quite hard to destroy buildings quickly. This unit is really quite hard to use, but hopefully it can be improved. It can drive through forests, so using it to spearhead attacks could be quite good, as Iran does not have many units which can spearhead an attack against a fortified position, as most of its units are low armor or are not very good at aggressive attacks. So, for instance, the Gathra is not very good at attacking a fortified position, and they don't get any unique tanks or armoured units that will be able to break, a line of howitzers and soldiers with pillboxes and towers, for example. So the Div Destroyer could be used, to push through a forest at the front, so your armoured cars and such could fit in behind it, maybe. The only unique infantry unit which Iran has is access to the Immortal. This is a heavily armoured machine gun unit, but it cannot be recruited anywhere except from the Gathra itself. You can spawn 6 Immortals every 130 seconds in the Gathra. They do not consume any resources, but automatically die after a short time. similar to how mammoths die after a certain point in game. The Immortals are mostly immune to the majority of rifles, as their high armour prevents them dealing much damage, so explosive weapons such as howitzers are able to deal with them the best, and tanks and things like that. This makes them extremely hard to kill, but similarly to the IR-2 flamethrower. Moving on to a static defensive unit, this is the Atash. It is an improved BM-13 rocket launcher from Russia, mounted on top of the bunker, similar to the German pillbox. This unit is actually very good at dealing with infantry and buildings, as it has better accuracy and reload time than the Russian BM-13, but still greatly struggles to deal with armoured units of any kind. This unit does not have auto-targeting, meaning that you need to give it targets manually, so it is best used to fire on a specific point, like a choke point, where you know enemy infantry will be passing, but also at sieging bases and killing workers over time, as you know, they're quite a long reload, but it means that when the workers go to repair things like the town hall or the buildings, they get destroyed by the explosives, as they do quite a lot of damage per hit. They're just quite inaccurate. Finally, we have the Eye of Samur. This is a flying balloon unit which is armed with an RPG soldier inside. This unit comes from an airfield and is great when paired with a military balloon which provides great protection. The Eye of Samur is a good unit when fighting against lightly armoured targets, as their DPS is not quite enough to deal with many armoured units quickly, but it is still an RPG, and so it's effective to a degree. But the Eye of Samur is weak to anti-air, and soldiers from, as shown, make it a unit which is best used in combination with other units from Iran's roster, such as the military balloon, as I said, and some sort of ground support, maybe some tanks from allies or such. That covers all of the units which Iran brings to the game. I hope this short video helps you understand the country better and how to use it or counter its units. It doesn't seem as strong as other units just yet, but balance changes in practice will show us the best way to use and counter each unit. So thank you everyone for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.